I've got something very exciting today for you guys. It's big release time. I have in front of me the new 2025 limited edition anniversary model from Selmer Paris. So there's a fair bit of recent history with Selmer Paris producing limited edition saxophones. We had the pearl lacquer in recent years, which was a really lovely saxophone, looked absolutely fantastic. And then a few years ago, they came out with a 2022 edition, which recognized the 22 model of 100 years before that. And now, of course, we have this one here, which recognizes 140 years of Selmer's sweeping history, going way back to 1885 when the great man Henri Selmer opened his workshop in the Montmartre. So before we get into the saxophone, let's just hear how it sounds. Right, let me strip this down to the basic facts. What do you need to know? So we're looking at an alto and tenor. They're not producing it for the other instruments, just alto and tenor. They're producing 800 altogether. That's 300 tenor and 500 alto. This is not a new design. It's simply based on the Supreme. So we're not seeing anything fancy going on in terms of the bore or the design. It is a Supreme. Let there be no illusions there. But the obvious thing that we can all see right in front of us is that it is black. And it is a matte black as well, which is the aesthetic that Selmer are going for. It looks rather lovely here in the light. It's kind of got like a soft kind of lust to it. It's a niche finish, you know. Not everyone will like the black, but many people will. Other than the black, we have got a very special engraving, which we're going to show you lots of glimpses of. But as I rotate it here, I'm sort of struck by the sophistication of it. What it does is it depicts a musical score, actually, that Henri Selmer's brother, Alexandre, he came up with a clarinet study back in the day, and this particular study has just been rediscovered by Selmer, and they decided that they would use it specifically for the engraving on this model. But it's a sort of reinvention and a reinterpretation of that score. But they've done all sorts of fancy things with it. They've added some modern touches. They've got some artistic twists going on, and they've sort of splayed it up and down the entirety of the instrument. So yeah, really super engraving there that really pops and stands out against the black finish. And then some other things to mention as well. We have got the number here. This says 100 of 300, so we're particularly lucky to have the 100th one built for tenor here. That's pretty cool. We've got a slightly altered neck screw here, slightly different from the standard design that we get on our usual Supreme sax. And beyond that, yes, one other thing to mention, we have a slightly unusual looking cork here. You can see it's not the standard cork, but it's actually got elements of black infused, synthetic black material infused into a standard piece of cork. So that's pretty much it in terms of the features and the description of the saxophone. The key facts here is it's based on a Supreme, but it just has this rather fancy engraving, and of course it is a limited edition model. So let's talk about this engraving. So interestingly, it's rather split opinion here at Sax. Some people absolutely love it. One or two people, well, the jury's out a little bit, but it has to be said that it's rather unique and it's certainly very interesting, and against the black, it's got a fantastic visual. But actually, interestingly, it leads me on to the method by which Selmer produced the engraving, because recently I was at the Selmer factory with my colleague Jamie, and we were wowed by the process that Selmer used to produce these modern engravings, where they have a very expensive robot that works very hard to produce these intricate engravings, rather than using the traditional master engraving method. So what's your opinion on that? Do you like the traditional methods, or do you find it very impressive what Selmer are doing with their modern engravings? But also, I love the fact that Selmer have pulled out all the stops with this limited edition model, rather like they've done in the past. I mean, the Supremes, as they are, come with lots of additional bits and pieces that are very impressive and give the feeling of this lovely all-round package that you are buying. And this one here is no exception. Comes with a concept mouthpiece, as we get as standard with a Supreme, but it has an extra fancy engraving on it like you might expect. And also you can see to my right here, this fancy end bung, lacquered with, well, not lacquered, but finished with this lovely kind of flat black mat to match the aesthetic of the instrument. It also comes with a rather fancy case, which is even more exquisite, if that is possible, than the standard Supreme case. And I should say, I've mentioned before, there's only 300 tenors, 500 altos. Those numbers get snapped up incredibly quickly, because there are many people out there who just love to have a piece of history, love the fact that this is a collectible item, it has rarity value, and from that point of view, these things don't hang around long. So if that sort of thing appeals to you, grab yours now whilst you can, because they do not lie around for very long. So that's it from me. I give you the Selmer Limited Edition 2025 model.